Let's take a look at Lab 3.2, writing a modular program in Python. Now this lab has a couple of problems. One, we're not actually writing a modular program. We're just sort of building the building blocks toward having a modular program. And two, the logic isn't very thorough. I think the logic we're using will help you understand basic logic, but at the end of the lab assignment, I'll show you a more thorough answer. So let's start by grabbing our Python data files. You've unzipped them already, put them in a folder on your desktop. I'm in my week 2 folder, and I've already gone through the Python PAL chapter. So we're going to add input and output statements to a partially completed Python program. That would be bad date. You can see that I have a bad date full saved for later, right there in VS Code. So we're going to open the source code file. Here it is. And you can see there's lots of problems. VS Code tells me there's 5 issues. I can see the little squiggly lines telling me that, oh, days not defined, months not defined, years not defined. So let's see. So we're going to write the simulated housekeeping method, but we're just going to simulate it. We're not writing the housekeeping method for this lab. We're doing just like the last example. We're just entering a place for the user to input data. Now, in a production environment, you might go out to an API and grab that data automatically, or you might grab that data passed in from an HTML form and then process it. There's lots of ways for the data to come in. But as a Python programmer, you can write programs that you can use on your computer and just manually enter data. It's pretty great. So we have to have input statements to get the month and day. We also have to convert the string to integers. Why are we converting to integers? Because we're comparing integers to integers. So if you look, here's a minimum year, here's a minimum year. In the download example, they use a different format of applying multiple variables, multiple values in one line. I think it's a little hard to read, and so I always change to individual variable assignment. That way it's better for me to read and troubleshoot. And you're going to read more code in your life than you will write. So try to make it readable for yourself with lots of comments. So let's get started here. We're going to have to get the year, the month, and the day. And since those are going to be strings, let's do what we did in the last lab. And I'll say the year string equals the month string equals and the day string equals. And those are all going to be inputs. So let's just fill these out as we go. Input and input. So here we're going to say enter a year, and I'll give a little space, enter a month, and enter a day. I guess you could leave out A. You could just say enter year, enter month, enter day. We'll go ahead and do that. Just make it a little easier to read. No, we need that space. Okay, so let's convert these. So I'll say year equals, and I'm going to go integer. This will do a type conversion from the string to year. All right, year equals integer, year string, same thing. Month equals integer, month string, and day equals integer, day string. Let's try day string. So far, so good. Let's check for errors. I don't have any errors here. And then if I'm reading the rest of this, is include the output statements in the simulated end of job method. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. If it's correct, this is all out of whack here. If it's correct, we're going to print the statement of correct, and if it's not correct, I'll just get rid of all that. We're also going to print the incorrect statement. So I've got, if the date is valid, that means if it's true or false, print, we'll say month, day, year is valid. So I'll use f strings for this. Month, day, year is valid. And let's put those variables in. Month, day, year. Since we're in the US, this is our standard month, day, year. If you're in another country, you might change that to be day, month, year, or whatever you want it to be. And if it's not valid, then it is invalid. So, all right, it's valid. It's a valid date. That's fine. We'll just leave it like this and run it. So I've got my bad date. I have no more errors. It looks like I followed all the instructions. Now I need to execute the program with the following output. So first one, 5/32/2014. So let's run it. Python 3. I have to type Python 3. You might just type Python. Python 3 baddate.py. Let's take a look. So enter the year. I want to put in 2014. Enter the day equals, the month is 5 and the day is 32. Something's wrong because it says 5/32/2014 is valid. We may have to go back up and check. Let's see, our day, max day equals 31. Day, if day is less than min day and day is greater than max day, then it's false. Well, this seems to be where the problem is. The logic is just wrong. If the day is less than the minimum day, which is 1, and it's greater than the maximum day, how can it be? So it would never be false. And the same thing with the month, it would never be false. So the program itself, including the answer, I think, that is also in the module, is wrong and it won't work. Let's change these to an or. If the month is less than the month, or if the month is greater than the max month. So this is something we have to worry about when we're getting labs from a book. We don't know who made this lab assignment, but I'm glad I'm going through it with you because you might have been frustrated for a long time trying to figure that out. It even surprised me. So we've got our days. We're going to check if it's valid. I did pause just for a moment and make this invalid just so I could have it easier to see, but I'm going to add one more item. I'm going to put a check mark so I know so I can visually see if it's valid, and I'm going to put an X so I can visually see if it's invalid. And let's go ahead and run this again, and I'll do 2014, same thing, month 5, day 32. Oh, that's much easier to read. Okay, so now with the or statements instead of the and, the program is working as it should be working. So let's do it again. This time it wants the year 2002 and 9 and 21. And that's valid. So at this point, you can copy your output, copy your code, upload it to the assignment. But I want you to see what is wrong with this picture. Let's try this. So I'm going to run this again. And this time I'll do 2020, month of 2, and the day of 31. Well, that date passes our validation test, but our validation test is incorrect. We should know if it's not a leap year, February only has 28 days, and some months only have 30 days over 31. And then on top of that, I'm going to save my little note here. On top of that, this assignment says we're going to make a modular program, but we're not running any functions here. So I went through and wrote the modular version with the corrected logic. Let's take a look at that real quick. You don't need to do this in your assignment, but you might want to take a moment and fix it for your own notes so you can have something usable. So first is I changed all these variables to uppercase, but that's because they're constants and it's a little easier to read. Oh, here's uppercase. I'm checking against a constant here. So then to make the housekeeping method, I made it a function, moved everything into the function. And then I did the same thing here. I grabbed the year, month, and date. I don't need this extra space. Then I convert it. That's fine. But now I'm in a function. I have to send the year, month, and date back out of the function to be used by the detail loop that's going to go into the detail. Now here's where I have something that's a little bit better. So the detail loop takes in the year, month, and day, and then it checks if the year's less than or equal to the min year, then it's false. Just gets out of the loop and goes, hey, no good. And then if it's not, the min month has to be above the min month and below the max month. If it doesn't fit within those parameters, then kick it out, it's false. And then same thing with the day. If the day isn't between the min day and max day, kick it out. But we're going to do a couple things here. So if all that's true, then we're going to say if it's February, it can't be greater than 29. And if it's 4, 6, 9, or 11, it can't have 31 days. All that's fine, then it's true. So then same thing, I go and send the year, month, and day variables to the housekeeping function. The housekeeping function goes and gets the data and returns those variables to me. Now in this case, it makes sense to put it all in one line because the housekeeping function is going to return year, month, and day. In that order, year, month, and day. Then I'm going to take the valid date and assign valid date to the detail loop, year, month, and day. I'm getting year, month, and day from housekeeping, passing it to the detail loop. Notice valid date is no longer declared up top. I'm declaring it in the end of job, which we could probably rename if we wanted to. So then I have a valid date, I have a year, month, and day, and now I can just say if valid date. So if it's true, print this statement, and if it's false, print this one. So I might as well come in here and add my emojis. If it'll let me add my emoji. Oh, I can't get my emoji here. I'll just copy it. On Windows, you can press the Windows key and period to get the emoji, which usually works. On the Mac, there's a couple different ways depending on which computer you have. Usually you can press Control Command Spacebar to get that going. Okay, well, there's Lab 2.